Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and today I'm doing a review at number 7. I'm going to be reviewing the Back to the Future trilogy. It's another one of my favorite movie trilogies. It's just classic. Of course, I wasn't alive in the '80s, so I don't remember it when it came out to theaters. So yeah, this is just a review on the trilogy itself. Yeah, starting with the first one here. Let me just get a little thing here. What can I say about the first one? It was, I mean, obviously the Universal logo was there, but like it was different movie. Obviously an invention of a different time travel machine. Like another one that's back in another television show I may know of. It was just, it was very interesting, and I love that scene, that the whole imp thing, where the scene here, that was pretty funny. Um, didn't realize anything at all. Um, I like going back to 1985 or 1955. That was pretty cool. I love this classic line. Um, you built a time machine out of DeLorean. That was great. And then I love how he goes back, and then how goes back to 1955. That was funny. That scene where they think he's an alien is funny too. Um, that was funny. Yeah, I love the part. That I love this. Just time travel itself was just amazing. It was like really, it felt like it really. I mean, I love, plus especially, um, when I think when Marty McFly was talking to Doc Brown, and then Doc Brown actually, the younger Doc Brown actually says how the movie, we're going back to the future. That was awesome. I don't really see what it is like in 1955, and you finally get it. You just kind of see, wow, it's very different. Everyone thinks this is a life preserver, just a vest. Um, I like this romance thing, or I like how like Marty has to hook up, because apparently his mom and dad aren't live yet, so he has to hook his his mom and dad up, because he goes back, accidentally go back to 1955, and has to fix this. And so I love how his mom and dad aren't together yet, so he has to like hook them up. Doesn't go so well because of Biff, the guy who is always trying to bully everyone. He's just a bad guy. See it. And then the thing with Lorraine and Marty, that was very odd. I felt like, really, like, what? That was really, really weird. Like that scene right there, all the scenes, and then like the relationship between young Doc Brown and Marty was just like really amazing. And especially the just everything about this movie. The first part, I mean, it's not even a, like, they call it part. No, it's just the first movie. The fact that they call it part is just like, no, just calling a part, just call it Back to the Future 2 or whatever, or the next one. Like, I like this. This is I love this part of the movie where you see the year, like the time. It's like a time machine. Although I don't know why you put a 0 right there. It doesn't make sense. But it was, I mean, yeah, I liked it. It was it was cool, because everything about the movie was just, it was it was just like, it felt like the '80s. Of course, I wasn't alive in the '80s, so I really wouldn't know. But yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was very interesting. I love the logo. The logo was really, really cool. Um, Everything about this movie, the first movie was just great. I mean, Back to the Future Part 1 was just it was very tremendously good. I mean, good acting, good everything about the movie. It definitely felt like I love the name. I mean, it's called Back to the Future reason, because they go back they go back. He goes back in time, and then he has to get himself back to the future of 1985, which is where he lives. Because he's and of course, I love the idea of having a DeLorean time machine, which is funny because those combination between the BBC series Doctor Who and Back to the Future, like which time machine would be better, TARDIS or DeLorean. No, I'm not going to talk about that. But for the first one, I like how not only is the movie was the movie released in 1985, but also it takes place in 1985. That doesn't usually happen. There's not a lot of movies that actually take place in 1985 that are actually released in that same year. And then I think it was maybe released the year before, because generally movies are released the year before. But this movie, I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, I like the characters. You know, I thought that everything was fairly good about the movie. It was just really great. About the entire movie, it was like all the characters. At least for part one was good. Like, you know, you go back to the 50s. You don't. It's just. Yeah, I mean, it was good. You know, I wouldn't say. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't really say it's the best movie, but it definitely lived up to its expectations. Now the movie that I'm definitely going to be spending a lot more time on talking about is Back to the Future Part 2, or the second one. Okay, so yeah, this is the second one. A lot better than the first one. I have to say. Sorry. Get rid of this. It was very good. I mean, I thought it would finally go into 2015, and they did. Obviously, last year they didn't get everything right, unfortunately. I love the classic line the two classic lines of the movie. It's that you have to go back with Marty, and then he's like, back where? To the future. What's wrong with the future? It's like, what's something about your kids? And then the classic line, roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. That's classic. Yeah, Back to the Future, Part 2. It was future, obviously. It wasn't. I mean, one thing I really don't think they did. One thing that really messed up with the movie was the recasting of Marty McFly's girlfriend, Jennifer. That sucked because they recast her. I mean, they did. It was terrible. I mean, they shot the same scene for the beginning of the second one. It was the same scene as the one they had last time, and that was a different actress. So they had the actress who played Jennifer in the first one didn't come back for some reason. So that made the film not as good. I mean, that was the only thing that made the film not great. The only thing that made the film not as good was the fact that they recast Jennifer. And she's an important character, I guess. So overall, it was pretty good. I mean, it felt futuristic. I mean, obviously we don't have kind of wheelless cars or wheelless flying cars or hoverboards or any of that future stuff. It didn't really feel like 2015. It didn't feel like a future. It just kind of felt like I don't know, kind of like an attempt at making it the future. Funny humor. The humor was great. He finds out that like how Marty finds out that his son is a wimp. It's like a complete wimp. It's like, seriously, doesn't even. It's funny because I mean the whole film was funny. I mean, it really lived up to the aspect of the second one. I mean, it was a great movie. It was one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies in this trilogy was Back to the Future Part 2. Considering it took place in 2015, or as they like to say, 2015. But I pronounce it 2015. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, the year doesn't really matter. I pronounce 2015. It doesn't really matter. I like this kind of shark teeth helmet thing. That was pretty cool. That doesn't. That's just an unusual helmet type thing. I love the hoverboard. That was a really good effect. Apparently, it was just a wire. Apparently, it wasn't actually real. But I love the effect of the hoverboard. It really worked well. Um, I mean, obviously, everyone wishes they were on a hoverboard right now. I love Jaws 3D. That was cool because actually Jaws 19. That was funny because it never actually happened. Um, Sports Almanac. That was cool. That was really cool. Didn't expect that to happen. It was just really great. I mean, it was a fun movie. I mean, honestly, this movie was a very fun movie. I love the effect. I love how I love the DeLorean just hovered. I like that everything hovers and it's all just fantastic. It was a very good movie. Especially if you live in 1985, and you know you're not used to this kind of feature stuff, and then you get and of course the big thing that made everyone mad about this movie was they predicted they predicted stuff wrong. Obviously, that was not something that needed to happen. That the whole predicting, the all predicting of things wrong because they got quite a lot of things wrong. I mean, like they got video calling wrong with Skype. They we made a hoverboard, but it wasn't actually real. Like, it didn't really work. It was like a hoverboard was like 1 inch above the ground, and it only works in like a certain place. It just they don't even try, and of course they didn't even get close to hover cars. Just nothing ever works. The acting was very good for this kind of movie. It was very good. All of the cast was great. It was all great. And then the whole idea of slipping back to an alternate 1985 because they apparently fixed everything, so they had to go back in time to 1985. Of course, it was not the 1985 they expected. It was just like a alternate reality, which was really that just made it a bit creepy. It was like it just kind of made it like really spooky. I guess I don't know. It just really freaked me out that happened to go back to an alternate 1985. That thing was just weird. It obviously is a kind of like a Las Vegas type thing where everything was like a rich place. It just felt weird. I mean, that's only inspired of APEC in the second movie. I mean, a little more language, but more abuse. Just lots of the second half of the movie was just really crazy. More like going back. Also, the makeup effects were terrible. Apparently, yeah. The makeup effects for aging character. Because this right here is Michael J. Fox, which was terrible because that was apparently aging makeup, which was terrible. Apparently, all the characters were just terrible, and the whole idea of hydrating cooking was great. And then apparently that's Michael J. Fox in a wig and makeup. That was weird. That was so weird. I mean, the whole idea of dehydrating pizza, putting a small little pizza in a hydrator and coming out with like a Pizza Hut. I mean, that was funny. The whole pizza that was funny. That was like really kind of crazy stupid. And then of course VR was kind of like supposedly in there with calling and double ties. It was weird. Everything about this 2015 was really weird. It was just like messed up. Oh, sorry. Get Back to the Future Part 2. It was, I mean, honestly, it was good. It was a good movie. I liked it. I think they could have done better. There's the camera. I think they could have done better with the movie. Obviously, get more stuff quite right, better and right. Unless, and not. I mean, they had just stuff that was not as funny. It was not. Some of it was just like stupid, but some of it was good. I liked it. I thought the second movie was very good. They do nod to the first movie. Obviously, we're going back to fix Marty's 1985 to fix to go back in time to 1955 to fix something again. That was great. So yeah, that's part 2. Now this is for part 3. This one they go back to 1885, which was very different. it was more like, you know, it's a west. It's also obviously a western. I'm sorry, get rid of this. What can I say about this? This movie was different. I didn't like it as much. Um, I mean, it was still going back to the future because it was still going like 100 years into the future. It was still very different. Or I think it was 100 years into the future. It was very different. It was not as good. I didn't like it as much. I mean, it was still a good movie, but it was like not that not something I it was not my favorite version of the movie. It was, but it was good. It was very funny. It definitely kind of shows memories and stuff from the different movies. Um, but I mean, obviously, they didn't make a part 4. Never gonna happen. But yeah, for this movie trilogy was very, very good. Um, I'm not talking very much about the third one. The third one was just, it was different. I mean, they used a lot of the same stuff, and it was western. And you got Doc Brown falling in love with Clara. For apparently that's the story in like a newspaper or something that's supposed to happen. But it was. I mean, it was a good movie. I mean, I like how this movie kind of borrows, or no, it was Harry Potter 2 borrowed a scene, a certain thing from Back to the Future, which was the train scene, when they were tracing the train and then they found the train, and then that little train to car thing. That was the same kind of thing that happens in the third one where you have train and car thing. So that's kind of like a nod to that movie. I mean, it's a classic movie franchise. It was great. I mean, clearly, it's all in the 80s, but I mean, it isn't my favorite franchise, but I do like it. I thought the acting was good. The script was, well. Honestly, I don't really know about I don't really care about the script, but I know the acting was very good. The effects were good. It lived up to its visions. It really was like a Back to the Future. That was the idea, especially in the second one. That was the where it really went back to the future. It was, yeah. The third one, not as good as the other two, obviously, but it was very, very good. Clearly, it was just different, and I didn't expect it to go like this. I mean, obviously the characters can't make a fourth one because of Michael J. Fox having Parkinson's disease, which causes him to not do well. Although he did the Jimmy Kimmel sketch, that was pretty good. I think I talked about that on Madhouse podcast a few podcasts ago. I think I called it the last podcast or something, or last podcast of Madhouse. I talked about that and I included that in the link. So please check that episode out. I think it was episode 7 of Madhouse. So please check that out. But yeah, it was. I mean, I thought Steven Spielberg does a good job. He does Jurassic Park. He does all these great movies. He did. I think he did a little Indiana Jones a little bit. But it was very good. The third one, I think the second one was better than the other two, obviously, because it was more like a future thing. But I did like the third one with I mean, I thought the romance between Doc Brown and Clara was good, sort of. I don't know. I didn't really like it. It was kind of weird, but I thought it still put stuff into perspective. It really did. It did a good job. Everything about it was great. It was good. You know, I thought it was very well done. So yeah, so the first one, I'd say, rating wise, I'd say a 5 out of 10 because it was not. It didn't. It just kind of felt weird. Not really. Just kind of not as interesting, I guess. Second one. I'd say a good 9 out of 10 because I mean the percentage that I'm leaving out is the fact that was the humor and just the stuff, obviously the stuff that made everyone mad back last year about the fact that that they didn't get everything right. That made the movie not as good. Um, so I mean, it was very good. I liked the DeLorean. The DeLorean has been an iconic thing. And the third one, um, hmm, I'm just gonna have to give it a 3 out of 10 because I didn't like it very much. I thought it was just not as good as the other three. I mean, other two. Um, I didn't like it as much. It really was not. It was very different. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of westerns. That's the point. That's why I'm getting. That's why I'm reading into that this slow is because I'm not a fan of westerns, and I didn't. I thought that it didn't really need this kind of. I didn't. I felt it didn't need this aspect in this kind of into like a this period. I thought the relationship. I thought the relationship between Clara and Clara Clayton, I think it's her name is, and Doc Brown. I didn't like that. That just didn't seem like it was necessary to happen. It was just because the age stuff, and also Back to the Future Part 2, you get all this age makeup. That's one of the other things that made the movie kind of lose the point for the ratings. That's the only thing because of the effects, but yeah, the second one was better than the other two, obviously. I just felt the third one didn't do as well, and it just didn't add up to the other two, and it just felt like it was not as good, in my opinion. So yeah, yeah, that'll do it for this week's episode of Reviewed. A little bit short this week, because I don't really have much to say about the Back to the Future trilogy. I mean, I've said a lot so far. That's just my opinion. It's been a little short. It's not as long as my other 6 episodes that I've done, but I've done my share. So yeah, this is what I can say about this trilogy. It was good. It was good. I liked Back to the Future, but I wouldn't call it the best trilogy ever. Honestly, it was just not my favorite. Honestly, I like it, but not my favorite. So, yeah. So I think that's all I can say. So yeah, thank you for watching this week's episode of Reviewed, and I will see you next week for another fantastic episode. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll subscribe to my channel. And leave any comments for future episodes that you'd like me to do, like last week. And I will take them if you do any comment. If you comment on this video, make sure to leave any ideas for future episodes. I have a few in mind, but like I said last time, I have a few more. I have a few in mind, but it'd be very helpful to have you give me suggestions for what I should do. I have several on my mind right now, but it would be helpful if I got more. Not saying this is a popular show, but give me ideas. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya.